The American Civil War ended in 1865 with a surrender by the Confederates. But for the newly freed African Americans in the South, the true struggle for freedom had just begun. The time period of rebuilding after the Civil War is called Reconstruction. During this time, 3 Reconstruction Amendments were added to the Constitution in an attempt to ensure the rights and equalities of African Americans in the South. The 13th officially abolished slavery. The 14th gave African Americans citizenship and equal protection under the law. And the 15th stated that no citizen would be denied the right to vote. Resistance to Reconstruction policies and laws were rampant in the South. Racist hate groups like the Ku Klux Klan emerged and intimidated African Americans at the polls. In order to resist equality efforts, some Southern states began passing black codes, or laws that counteracted the Reconstruction Amendments. The state of Louisiana required that all voters pass a literacy test in order to be eligible to vote. This law mandated that the test be given to everyone who could not verify that they had at least a 5th grade education.
Can you prove a 5th grade education, ma'am?
No, sir. I actually have a lot of difficulty reading.
Well, I guess you should take this test anyway before we register you. Have a seat over there. Turn in whenever you're finished. Next.
Yes, sir. I'd like to register to vote.
Well, you need to take this test in order to prove you have a 5th grade education.
I can actually show you my high school diploma, sir.
I said you need to take this test. Now go on then, sit over there, read the directions and get started. You have 10 minutes to finish. Well, I see that number 20 was rather difficult for you. Unfortunately, you failed. And ma'am, I'm sure that your test is fine. You may continue with your registration.
The questions were deliberately designed to be tricky and confusing. Question number 20 says, spell backwards forwards. Whites would be judged correct no matter what they wrote as an answer. But African Americans who wrote both words but forgot to include the comma would be failed. Or if they included the comma, they would be failed for that. If they just wrote the word backwards, they would be failed for not including the word forwards. Or if they wrote backwards, instead of actually spelling it backwards, they would fail. All non-whites were forced to take the test even if they had a college degree, while whites were often excused from taking it no matter how little education they had. If an African American missed one question, he failed. But if a white person could not even read the questions, he passed. The people grading the tests were often white. It was completely up to their discretion whether a person passed the test or not. In 1965, the Voting Rights Act was passed in order to prohibit states from denying anyone the right to vote. This was 100 years after the abolishment of slavery in the United States.